And viewers, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is headed to Florida this week for a short, focused visit. The highlight of the trip comes on 29th of December when Netanyahu will meet U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, followed by a key meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Officials say the discussions are expected to focus on U.S.-Israel relations and regional security. Netanyahu will wrap up his Florida trip on January 1. Trump and Netanyahu last met in October last year at the Knesset in Jerusalem. The meeting marked a landmark moment in the Middle East, centered on U.S. brokered ceasefire and hostage release deal during Trump's visit. All right, joining me in this discussion now is Shruti Das-Gupta, who's an international affairs expert, and she joins us from New Delhi. Thanks very much, Shruti, for joining me once again here at NewsX World. Shruti, now this meeting between Trump and Netanyahu is scheduled right after Netanyahu recognized Somaliland, that of course US has not given recognition to, and in fact has also opposed Israel's stance there. What kind of discussion, if at all, we can expect on the issue of Somaliland in the meeting?
I think there's not going to be much about the Somaliland, personally speaking, if they do happen to have a meeting, because as of now they're only saying they have met. There is no official notice of that meeting issued, not even there is an official notice for Rubio's meeting with Netanyahu, but there are just murmurs. But I do believe these two leaders will meet. They will mostly be talking about how to continue with their attempts to normalize Gaza, bring peace there. I think that would be a major part of their discussion, rather than have a particular interaction related to Somaliland. What it has triggered, though, this particular declaration of Somaliland by Netanyahu shows that they are not completely walking in step. USA and Israel are no longer talking exactly on the same points, and Israel might be willing to look at things differently. They'll not be completely in sync all the time, and they have noted that President Trump probably is not in as much favor of how Israel looks at the world than his predecessor probably.
So would you say this is the first real difference that has emerged in the recent times between the US and Israel, or there are any contentious points other than this that also remain?
But I do believe there were others as well. While on the issue of Gaza also we saw that there were issues, the war with Iran saw them disagreeing. Ultimately, I guess they pushed the lobbies that are in play, the forces that we do not understand as much, would probably have pushed Trump to kind of send his bombers, B-2 bombers, and do the bombings of the nuclear sites. But while the war was happening, the conversation between USA and Israel was not very positive. So this was not their first disagreement, probably not their last as well, although before the elections they were showing a whole lot of bonhomie. And although the cause of Israel stays dear to Trump, he is probably not as much in step as Netanyahu wants him to be.
Yeah, sure. And of course, the main contention remains the Gaza ceasefire. How do you think Trump pushing Netanyahu to move in that direction?
Next steps have to be the disarmament of Hamas, laying down arms, and them. I believe they've been asked to leave the region of Gaza as long as they agree to the peace terms. And
well, that is not happening for sure. We don't see Gaza leaving anytime soon, especially when it's just about to elect a new leader, sometime soon to succeed Yahya Sinwar also. But what can Trump really do to push Netanyahu, to arrive at a ceasefire?
Well, I think what his next steps would be to assimilate the international peacekeeping force, assign a leader of the Palestinian Authority of some way, an international recognized authority, with the other players also agreeing to what he says, to then push, once this authority is established, once the peacekeeping force is established, to then push Gazan, to push IDF away from Gazan regions, to give away that regions, walk away militarily from that region. But the sticking point, again, as we've just discussed, is going to be whether Hamas lays down their arms or not. And that is something you and I both are very skeptical about.
Yeah.
And it's not something that they may change out their name. They may not surrender arms. They might just say that Hamas no longer exists. But the people that are Hamas are probably going to go underground. And this, unfortunately, is going to be the fate of Israel to again and again confront this particular form of terrorism, as we've seen since inception.
Well, we'll watch out how that discussion goes on, Shruti, but for now, thank you very much for joining me.